Complete and utter domination all game long from the Philadelphia Eagles as they claim their first Super Bowl title since 2017 with a dominant performance against the Kansas City Chiefs in a 40-22 victory. Dude, the biggest thing that you could have seen from this game was that Eagles defense. That Eagles defense basically had the KC offense's number all damn game. Welcome on into Inside the Huddle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Lucas Hill. Yes, we cover the Super Bowl. Yes, we're live. This isn't a rerun. We are live here. We are not just college football. Football lasts all year round here in the Inside the Huddle. If you're watching us on X, make sure that you leave us a comment down below, as well as make sure that you repost. Make sure that you are joined in to our live stream. Really appreciate you guys coming up in here and talking some noise with me. By the way, I am never betting again. I wasn't even close on my parlay. So, yeah. That's $10 I'm not getting back. Anyways. So today it's all about just recapping everything Super Bowl game-wise. Tomorrow we won't be live tomorrow. Tuesday night, we will be live discussing all things Super Bowl, from commercials to the halftime show, to the national anthem, the pregame festivities. We'll kind of discuss the cultural aspect of that. Other than that, I mean, dude, this was just a dominant performance after what was just an unbelievable game from this Philadelphia Eagles defense. They came in and absolutely shut down Patrick Mahomes and company. I mean, this was a game that I thought I knew was going to be close. And look, I talked about this on Thursday's show, and we talked about what the Eagles were going to have to do to win the game, what they were going to have to do to be able to create big plays. And I said, if Philly wins the turnover battle, they will win the ball game. It was 2-0, then they got 14 points off of turnovers. The pick six from Cooper DeJean, and then you had, I think you had 3 turnovers. Yeah, you had 3 turnovers throughout the game from the Chiefs. So that one was absolutely unbelievable to me. You got 17 points off of turnovers today. You had the 2 interceptions, the one in the red zone. Boom, you take advantage of that in 2 plays before the half out to A.J. Brown. Dude, what a game. What a game from Jalen Hurts. What a game from this Philadelphia defense that got after Kansas City. That offensive line got pushed around all damn game. I told you guys like Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, Jalix Hunt, guys like that. That front 4 was going to have to get after Patrick Mahomes to win this one. I said this was the worst that Kansas City has looked all year, and they're 17-2 because their defense won them a lot of games. I'm not saying that everything was on the Chiefs, on the Eagles or on the Chiefs defense, because if you look overall, this was a fairly close one. 345 yards of total offense. So you would consider that a moral victory. But at the end of the day, the problem with that is that you were not able to get off the field on 3rd down for the Eagles D, or for the Chiefs D. You were 3 of 11 on 3rd down. You couldn't get any momentum whatsoever. You're talking about one of the number 1 offensive linemen offensive lines in the nation that gave Jalen Hurts a lot of time. They were physical up front. I told you, the pass rush is going to have to show up for both teams. Nolan Smith made his presence known throughout the game. Josh Sweat made his presence known. You talk about Zach Bond. You talk about Milton Williams, who showed up in a big-time game. Absolutely had a dominant performance for the third rounder from La Tech. Shout out to all my Ruston people out there. Go Bulldogs, by the way. But overall, this was just from start to finish. This game belonged to the Philadelphia Eagles. From start to finish. And I'm disappointed in the way that it ended for KC because, look, but it shows you what you need to go out into the offseason and get. You look at this offensive line, they got absolutely manhandled all game long. It was insane looking at how bad this Chiefs offensive line looked. It wasn't just today. You looked at the second half of the season. Just overall, it just wasn't good. It wasn't the typical Chiefs season that you were seeing. And look, they went 15-2 this year, but they didn't look good. And I said it already. This was the worst 15-win season in history. This just was not a good team. Any other year, this is a wild card team that gets bounced in the first round. So it obviously sucks seeing how everybody just came out. And look, if we're being honest, this team came out flat. This team came out flat and did not have an answer one bit during the course of this game. Creed Humphrey got absolutely smoked. You know, Joe Tooney got absolutely smoked. Joe Tooney got absolutely manhandled today. Joe Tooney got smoked. He's 32. He doesn't have a lot of football left in him, especially for an offensive lineman. Next year, he's entering the last year of his contract. And he was put on the PUP list for about a week and a half. And production-wise, he's good. But you start to think about how long he has left in the NFL. Trey Smith had a great year, but got his absolute butt kicked. Had no answer. DJ Humphries, getting old, man, 31 years old. Doesn't have a lot of life left. Didn't show out whatsoever. This Eagles front four may go down as one of the best fronts that we've seen in the Super Bowl. And we've seen some really good defensive lines. We've seen the 49ers with Bosa, with Eric Armstead, and with all of those guys. But this Eagles front four may have been the best performance that we've seen in a long time. This was dominance on all aspects of the game. It was impressive seeing where this team was and how this team performed all game long. Absolutely impressive. Cannot say anything else from this. Here's some other things that I said. By the way, want to welcome in our Hold on, to give me 1 minute as we welcome in our Instagram crew. Boom. Boom. Instagram crew, welcome into the live stream. Just got you guys here. I mean, bottom line, guys, if you didn't hear, complete and utter domination. Just complete and utter domination. And to be honest with you, there's a reason why Philly lost this game or Philly won this game. Because you got pressure on Patrick Mahomes. The one thing that you needed to do was be able to put consistent pressure on him, and you did just that. I told you guys on Thursday that in order for them to win, you were going to have to put pressure. And here's the thing. Here's another thing I said, and this was on Thursday I say this, or actually Friday. If Kansas City doesn't turn the ball over, then we're getting a low-scoring game. I expect this to happen. Philly's pass rush is going to get there. This is the best defense the Chiefs will play in this Super Bowl run, and it may bring another Super Bowl loss. Boom, right there. Write it down. I'll show you the evidence. And look, I may have been wrong on the pick for the Super Bowl because I said I don't bet against Kansas City. I said I bet the under. I was wrong on that. But hey, it is what it is. We win some, we lose some. That's part of the business. Most of the time we're wrong, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Look, I'm shocked at how this game ended. I'm shocked at how all of this just came to fruition, and it just didn't make sense to me. But here's the rest of it, guys. So I said if Philly wins the turnover battle, they're going to win the game. During the postseason run, they forced 10 turnovers, leading to a combined 44 points. You had 3 today that led to 17. You're 5th in the turnover differential. You're 1st in total yards allowed, going up against a KC team that had struggled on the offensive line during the second half of the season. And it continues today. That KC offensive line got their stuff pushed in. It was embarrassing looking at that. That's how bad that offensive line got. And look, that's a need that you have to address in the offseason. That was insane what we saw during that game. It was almost it was almost like a dream watching this game. It made my head hurt so bad because of what happened. And it made me just disgusted looking at that Chiefs offensive line that I thought was much better going into this one. But obviously I was severely incorrect. Severely incorrect. We're only going to be about 5 more minutes, guys, because we'll get the full breakdown of it on Tuesday once I come back from looking at the game again, looking at the tape. But from what I got to see, dude, Patrick Mahomes, I know that the offensive line didn't help him, but there were a lot of times when pressure was on and he would literally just step into the pressure. He wouldn't do anything to really avoid it because every time he got outside, he would struggle throwing the football, and his accuracy was the biggest question mark people had going in. And that's essentially what killed KC at the beginning. You lost the turnover battle, and you could not get anything going on offense. Dude, Travis Kelce, health in check. 4 receptions, 39 yards. Had 0 receptions in the first half. You did not allow him to make a big play like he did last year, which is good. But I know that you have to be able to get your playmakers the football. So, yeah, off-season wise, you got a lot of moving pieces. You have to get guys. You're going to have the 31st overall pick in the draft. All right? And look, we're excited for the draft. So we have a lot to talk about. Look, who do the Chiefs go? Do the Chiefs want to go get? Do the Chiefs even take a chance and move up? I would certainly do so. Because you have to go get a guy in the trenches. You feel like it has to happen. You can't stock up in the defensive line group. Make no mistake about it. Derek Harmon is, you would like to have another offensive lineman, to be honest with you. Right now, PFF's projecting he goes to Derek Harmon from Kansas to go to Kansas City from Oregon. But they really need to address an offensive line. If Josh Connerly ends up falling back, I would definitely go for him. I would say, too, with the guard position, you got to find another guy. Our man Membu, who didn't participate in Senior Bowl practice, who I was expecting to do so, didn't end up participating at all. But yeah, man. Yeah. It was rough. It was rough, I'll say that. So if you're KC, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Because you let this one get away from you early. Because you were ineffective on the offensive line. Your offensive line is taking the loss for today's game. Your Philly D-line, I wonder who did get named Super Bowl MVP. I bet you it's probably Jalen. I bet you it's Jalen Hurts. Yep, Jalen Hurts won Super Bowl MVP. I figured so, 290-something yards. But I will say, though, look, you could easily say that, dare I say this, how about a guy like Josh Sweat or Cooper DeJean? Hey, Cooper DeJean's pick 6 basically opened the barn burners at that point. That's what led to the onslaught, really. That basically solidified a dominant performance by Kansas City, or a dominant performance by the Eagles. So, yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely a lot that you have to go into the offseason to discuss, man. I mean, what do you do at this point? What do you do? It's frustrating. It's definitely frustrating because you let one get away. But I'll say this again. We witnessed the worst 15-win team in NFL history. Not one with a dominant win. And let's just be honest with you. Philly came in and exposed that. That's it for Inside the Huddle. Y'all have a great rest of the day.